Hello, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Had no plans. Just got in. I said, I'm going to turn this thing on. Try to explain what happened today with those other two in the cat house. What a day. Live. Any tips for barn cats? I just got 7. Yeah, I have loads of tips. Make sure you socialize them right. And if they're wild cats, keep them contained until you can socialize them properly. It's so much easier if the cats are like Dexter and Fozzie Bear and Chunk. Those guys in particular, they're just cool. Mind you, it depends on the personality of the cats too. Somebody from Mexico. Hello, Mexico. Hi, Chad. I'm a really big fan of your channel. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve. Do any of their cats live indoors? No, I don't have any cats indoors. The cats are in the cat house. I don't think I would survive having a cat indoors with me. The asthma would just take over, and then I don't know. I'd have like constant allergies and hay fever and all the fixins that go along with allergies. Abigail Acres, they are wild. They already lived here, but I got them fixed and they're now in our garage. Well, that's good. You got them contained in the garage. You have to basically lock up those cats for, it's hard to say exactly how long. You have to judge the cats, but you have to lock up the cats in the location that you want them to call home. So if you want them to live in the garage, then that's good. If you don't, then you have to transfer them to wherever you want them to live or for them to call home. And if, you might have to trap them or kind of corral them into a cage to do that. I do have a video on that, though, how to train barn cats, and it goes into a lot of detail. Horse Hearts. I've been watching and following you for about 5 years. That's awesome. Thanks so much. Merry Christmas, Horse Hearts. And we've had the farm now since 2020, so that's like 5 years. So you've been following like the whole time. Merry Christmas. What's that? Wade from Brampton. Hi, Wade. How are you? Oh, Abigail, you have watched it. Okay. You're only a little south of us, eh? Well, whereabouts are you? Newmarket? Aurora? Barrie? Innisfil? Cookstown? Hi, from Linden, Tennessee. Hello, Pamela. How are you? Merry Christmas. Hello, Chad and the Human Claw Crew. Yeah, I'm the Human Claw Crew. This is the Canine Claw Crew. Merry Christmas, Alberta. Anti-social. Anti, not as in against, but anti as in uncle. Cool. I'm in Norfolk County. Okay, that's a way bit more south. I don't even know where Norfolk County is. Is that like London, Waterloo area? Maybe close to Windsor? Merry Christmas from Switzerland. Hi, Switzerland. Thomas Winter, hi. Holly Zipped Up Kits, good afternoon. Merry Christmas from North Carolina. Hello, folks. About an hour from London. Okay. I just wanted to come on, and I'm like, so I finished up whatever I was doing at the farm. So I don't know how many of you guys were on this afternoon Wow, Scott Z says 79 in Dallas, Texas. 79. That's like warm. I could deal with that right now. Actually, we had a pretty good day yesterday, but today was a bit nippy. So I get so many suggestions from people, recommendations, ideas. One of the ideas people are always pressing me for is to set up a live feed in the cat house. So I've been really trying to figure out how to do that. So, I got myself a new iPhone. This is brand new, iPhone 17, and I kept my iPhone 14. So I used the iPhone 14. So I set that up. I plugged it in. I actually went out yesterday or the other day, and I bought it's like a little gizmo that you plug into just a normal outlet, and then you have to set it up to be connected with your router, which is in the farmhouse. And then I would have like nice Wi-Fi in the cat house. And when I look at the Wi-Fi signal in the phone, sometimes it's 2 bars, sometimes it's 3 bars. Anyway, so that's what I did, and I set that up, and I just had it playing like a wide view of the cat house. And I don't know, 10 minutes, and I saw lots of comments that it's glitchy and choppy and buffering and all these kind of things. So I shut that down. I stopped it. I figured out I unplugged the router and reset the router and all that. Anyways, long story short, I don't think that's going to work, because maybe that booster does in fact boost the signal, but what happens to the speed? I'm thinking the speed of the internet gets deteriorated as it's broadcasting the signal more. So what I may have to do is run like a hard line into the cat house from the router in the farmhouse, and then just have like its own router in the cat house, and then the phone can work off of that Wi-Fi, and that Wi-Fi would be pretty darn good because it's like right there in the building. So that doesn't stop me from doing live streams with me in the cat house. I can still do that because I can use my phone and I can use the 5G data and all that. But anyways, I did that 2 times, and I walked away. I went to go do the chores on the farm, and then and then it's like, I don't know, 10 minutes. I open up my phone and I'm looking at the live and some of the comments, and it says like buffering. Where's Chad? What's going on? I think Dexter stole his phone, and all these little cute comments. And I know you guys are being patient with me, but I just wanted to jump on now and kind of explain. I wasn't really planning on going live right now. I mean, everybody's busy on Christmas Eve, but there's still 90 people in here though, so I appreciate that anyhow. But so that's what happened. But in any case, that kind of a live feed is just like a broadcast shot. I don't even know if I want to do that long term. I tried it, and I tried it today, and I watched the live a little bit, and I was like, you remember the first Jurassic Park movie when they finally, like Dr. Grant is sitting there with the kid, and they're looking around, and they're like, boy, it sure would be nice to see some dinosaurs, right? This is before all the wreckage happened on the island. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, where's the cats? So I got this camera going, and I got this live stream going that I worked hard to kind of set up, and the cats are all out in the catio. I did see Dexter eating some food, and then he took off, and Tango came in, but there was like not much happening. It was just a blank, vacant stare down of the cat house. So I don't know if that's like something that I want as part of the channel, as like a longer term thing, but I did try it. So anybody who's been suggesting that as a live feed there, I'm not giving it up yet, because I still got to tweak with my internet and figure that part out. But Merry Christmas, Jan Dolph. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Glad you're on today. Yeah, I came on, Jan, because I did like a cat in the cat house live stream, and then anyways, it didn't work out very well. It was kind of a failure, And I didn't want to keep shutting down the live and then restarting the live because I had already done it 3 times. And then so I just gave up on it. And then anybody who was watching that might have been thinking, what's Chad doing? He just shut it down. Like, I wanted to explain a little bit in any case. Zipped up kiss. I was watching a video and my narcolepsy hit. I wake up to the sound of Chad's voice. Yeah. That's funny, actually. Somebody says, hello, everyone. It's bloody 4 degrees in the UK. Hope everyone is safe. When you say bloody 4 degrees, is that meaning like it's a bad thing? Like 4 degrees is too cold? Because whenever I use the word bloody, I'm like, oh, that bloody thing. So you're saying that kind of negatively, right? But 4 degrees isn't bad for us Canadians. Today we were -4. Yesterday it was +2. So we were looking good. So much snow melted at the farm. They all came sliding off the roof and stuff like that. But now today it's kind of icy because from that melt yesterday. What's that? Michael? I guess that's how you pronounce it. It says, we need a 10-hour compilation of Hidden Springs cats videos to sleep. Sharon says, maybe put more cameras in the cat house and also the catio. Yeah, but that would be wonderful. But I don't even know how to do that. So I got my phone and I can go live from my phone. So how do you connect 6 cameras to your phone? So I haven't figured that out yet. I mean, I guess you'd have to have some kind of a hub or maybe some kind of a mechanism that allows you to go live, like a little computer that all the cameras are connected to. So you can have, I think that's a little bit too complicated. It would be nice though, because then you could get all the angles and you wouldn't miss anything instead of just one wide open shot. But I don't know. Brandy, we enjoyed the live feed. Yeah, it was good while it lasted. You might have seen the cats playing or something like that or eating. Mikhail or like that. Okay, I got it. I thought it was like Mikhail. Yeah. Scott Zimmerman, you would need a switcher or a screen and screen. Yeah, see, that gets a little complicated just to show the cats. I mean, I don't really know. And then the other challenge was, I set that up and then I disappeared. I saw somebody in the comments saying, I heard some machine start up. I think Chad took off. He's probably going to do chores. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what I did. And I said to myself, okay, I'm here. I'm going to set up this live feed for the cats, and then I'm going to go do the chores. And I've been working on my next video, and I've been working on those doors. Well, door for those, the little lean-to extension that I built. And so I said, okay, I can have this live stream running for like 5 or 6 hours today. And whoever joins in, that's great. Like it's no pressure or anything. It's just a live feed and you can watch the cats. Some people like to play that stuff when they're cooking their food or something, right? Anyways, it didn't work out that way. Just ask an IT person. I know, so just ask. Amy Boone, hi Chad. We're newer to your channel. We love it. Merry Christmas to you and Remy. Merry Christmas to you and your family too, Amy. I appreciate that. And what's that? Rick, Amy and Rick. So that's your hubby, Rick, eh? Amy and Rick in Illinois. I don't think I've ever been to Illinois. Chicago's in Illinois, right? I guess I drove through Chicago before. I remember there was a lot of tolls in Chicago. Is that wrong or? Rita Gross says, I have 7 cats here in Tampa. I've picked up a lot of tips. I was worried about the cold here, but now I feel ridiculous. You don't have to feel ridiculous. You'd be surprised. I have Michael Coonan, where are the cats? The cats are in the cat house. I had a cat live going today, but it didn't work out too well. That's why I wanted to jump on, Michael, and kind of explain that I attempted it, but it didn't work out too well. If I drove through Chicago, it was years ago. I don't even hardly remember it. Nikki X Designs. But yeah, back to Rita Gross. That's nothing to feel ridiculous about. I have loads of cat videos. Lots of them went viral too, and they get a lot of comments and a lot of. It's like an evergreen video, right? People just love rewatching, and they do it. They do very well, like on an ongoing basis on the channel. And there's so many people that tell me two things about the cats. Actually, three things. One is, why are they wearing collars? Your collars are too tight. And sometimes I chime in back and sometimes I don't because I'm tired of it. There's 3,000 or 4,000 comments on the one video. I can't keep up. But, I mean, to each their own. It doesn't mean a cat shouldn't or should wear a collar. It's just, I want my cats to wear a collar. It helps me tell them apart. It helps me put an air tag on them so I can track them. I got little ID tags on a few of them, not all of them, but little ID tags. So if they do get lost, they have an ID tag. It has my phone number on it. It has their name on it. But so far, we haven't lost any cats in that way, I don't think, anyways. Any cats that we've lost, I think, is due to predators. But the other thing that people always say to me is that, why do you have cats outside? They destroy the natural habitat and ruin the ecosystem. And I get these lectures from people. And I mean, I kind of feel like that goes along the same lines as, like back in the 1980s, all the experts said we're going to run out of oil in 10 years. And when I was in school, the ozone layer was huge. We got to protect the ozone layer because we're all going to die. We're all going to get skin cancer because the sun rays. And I mean, there's so many other things, global warming was a thing for a while. Now nobody says global warming. Now they say climate change because they've realized we can't pass that on to people because the globe is not really warming. So I kind of feel like that's a little bit of a myth. Maybe there are situations that cats do, in fact, kill too many birds. But I mean, birds kill too many bees. So, I mean, everything's got to eat, right? But I don't know. I don't pay much mind to it, but those are the things that the people say. What else do they say about the cats? Yeah, and then they talk about the cold. This is back to Rita Gross's comment. And they talk like, the cats don't like the snow. They don't like the cold. Like, is there a heater in the cat house and all this? And I'm like, the cats do just fine. I don't think they need a heater. Vintage Style by Joe. Merry Christmas to you too. Yeah, Michael Coonan. No problem with the cats having collars or being inside for certain periods, but I prefer live videos from their house. Yeah, that was a fun live to do. I mean, Fozzie was like the star of the show, right? Like I was doing my best to keep up, but Fozzie, he's pretty good. He doesn't mind being on camera at all. But cats having collars, all of our cats wear breakaway, not all of them, actually, I shouldn't say that. The cats that do wear collars have breakaway collars. So anyways, they can't get hung up on anything. They can't get strangled. It just breaks away. Zor, 1998. Hey, Chad, longtime viewer. How do you deal with burnout and being tired? I own llamas, horses, and chickens, but I'm getting tired more, and I'm the only one who can be there and make it work. Yeah, it's very difficult, Zor. I mean, I don't even know your name, but it's very difficult to talk to your YouTube viewers about how much work you're putting in. You know what I mean? I definitely feel awkward talking about it because the money that you make from the effort that you're putting in is really, really, really tiny. Like I'm just to put it into perspective. If I film one day on the farm for I don't know, let's say 6 hours I'm filming. And then that footage, it might be about 70 to 90 gigabytes of footage that I've taken. And then I start editing the video. If it's a longer video, in any case, I might be editing that for 7 or 8 hours. Sometimes I can't even finish it in the one evening, and it carries on, and I have to do it again the next evening. So to work for 14 hours on a video, and if you get like 10,000 views, let's say, just as a guess at 10,000 views, I might make $300. Sometimes it's 350. And that's if nobody gives any tips. Like sometimes people give a super thanks. But speaking specifically about burnout, I work really long hours and I've accepted it. And I created the problem, right? So I have nobody to blame. My wife, Remy, she thinks I'm crazy. She's worried about me all the time, actually, because I work too long hours. But I mean, I might wake up in the morning one day, go to the farm real early, and I'm bringing Olive with me, and then I'm like letting the animals out, but I don't do any other work on the farm. I just disappear because I got to go to work, or I got to do something that involves my work. I don't have to physically go to my work. Sometimes I very flexible and remote, and I know people are going to ask, "What do you do?" I always keep that part private, but you know what I mean? I'll take Olive because I don't leave Olive at the farm if I'm not there. I'll bring Olive back to the house or whatever. And sometimes I bring her with me wherever I go. But and then I go back to the farm. But I don't do that kind of a schedule for days that I'm filming. And I mean, believe it or not, there's Saturdays that I attempt to film 2 videos, like because it depends on my schedule. And I won't even do any farm work. I'll just do 2 videos because I might be behind schedule on the videos. Were you a fan of SCTV back in the day? That's Methphenol. I was a fan of SCTV. I'm talking, I was probably just, when I was younger, I got reruns, but it was still a big deal, right? Eugene Levy and John Candy, and who else was there? I think it was Rick Moranis. Anyways, there's a bunch of other ones that were on SCTV. For anybody who doesn't know, that's Second City Television, and it was a lot of great comedians. Like I remember there was one SCTV skit that they did. And the show was very similar to Saturday Night Live. Anyways, it was Eugene Levy. Anybody who knows Eugene Levy, he's the actor that has those huge eyebrows, really bushy beard, and he's really hairy. Anyways, he was doing a skit about, I think it was a Gino Vanelli song. Gino Vanelli was a singer, and he had his shirt like half open all the time, and then all the bushy chest hair was hanging out. So he would be doing this little thing, and he's pretending that he's singing this Gino Vanelli song, and then he'd turn around like this, and then by the time he's turning around to act, his chest is even more bushier. His afro is more bushier, and then he'd do a little bit like that, and he'd go like this again. And then he'd come back like this again, and it's even a bigger afro and a bigger chest hair, and it's like puffed out to here. And he kept doing that in the skit. And anyway, it was just funny. That stands out in my head. Mikhail, yes, SCTV, so many greats from it. Exactly. Aloha, Malekaliki Maka from Honolulu, Hawaii. We love all the animals. That's terrific. Thanks so much. Merry Christmas to you as well. Yeah, Michael, the live from the cat house was nice, but you have to understand too, I stayed in there for 2 hours. I did that live the other day, and that was only my second live stream ever. And when I watched the video back, I didn't like the the way I was moving the camera around. And I know there's a couple of commenters that commented too. Every time you move the camera, it kind of stops. So I just need to figure that part out. Hi, Chad, from Thompson, Okanagan in BC. Merry Christmas. Thanks so much for the tip. Yeah, Merry Christmas. I guess it's a little bit earlier for you guys out in BC, eh? If it's 5 o'clock here, that means it's 2 o'clock for you guys? Yeah, so I'll still do live streams in the cat house as well, but I'm thinking that I might try to develop some kind of a schedule for like a regular live stream, like maybe a once a month kind of thing. But I'm kind of in the live stream mood since I started those other two. And I'm like, man, I need practice. So now I'm thinking like, I'll probably come up with some kind of schedule, and then I'll just throw in random lives in addition to that. I think it would be cool also to use my phone, right? And be out with the ducks in the orchard and the geese, right? I could just hang out with the ducks. I thought that'd be fun. Everything's so green and beautiful out there. Oh, thanks, Brandy. You're the best. Wishy Boz 6. Over in Scotland, we opened presents the night before Christ is born, and my wife got me a T-shirt of my favorite Fozzie Bear. Oh, that's so awesome! So you're opening up your Christmas gifts on Christmas Eve, and you got a Fozzie Bear shirt from the Hidden Spring Farm. That's so nice. That's cool. Thanks for the support too. Every time somebody buys a T-shirt, I end up getting $8. So it's like, if you sell a lot of T-shirts, you can get some money. But I designed all those T-shirts and products. I designed them myself, and I did that last year. And I don't know how often creators update their designs, but it would be nice maybe if I somehow had a relationship with like some comic book artist or cartoonist or somebody who knows how to draw so they can actually make something for me. That would be cool. Maybe get like all the cats on one T-shirt for all the Claw Crew. They could all be in a different pose. I thought that'd be fun, but I don't even have time to do that. Never mind. Michael, I would say there's no need to commit to regular. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be like on this day every month, but well, Zipped Up Kits, when I did that live in with the cats off my phone, I felt like it was pretty good, except when I was moving the camera. And it definitely bogged down when I was moving the camera, because you get the pan, and I was flipping from facing me to the camera that's facing out. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I've only done a few of these lives now, so I'm like just getting my toes wet in the snow, Sharf Manor, from the exact same name as yours, from Curtis, Ontario. Curtis is out past Oshawa. And I know that because we lived in Whitby for 14 years. And, you got Pickering, Ajax, Whitby, Oshawa, Curtis. And then what is it? What's next? Bowmanville? And then Newcastle? Yeah. Anyways, Merry Christmas to you as well. Do you have pet insurance? Someone's asking if we have pet insurance for all the kitties. No, I don't even have pet insurance for Olive. I don't even know what pet insurance does. My mom says you look like Garth Brooks. Especially if I had my cowboy hat on, eh? Garth Brooks, but not Chris Gaines? Who's Chris Gaines? I don't know that name. Merry Christmas, everybody. Got 140 people in here right now. I don't know how long I'll stay on. I know it's people are going to start cooking dinner, and Chris Gaines was Garth Brooks' alter ego. Okay, so it was Garth Brooks. He just called himself Chris Gaines for a time. Pet insurance must only be a USA thing. No, I've heard of pet insurance. I just didn't get it. They offered me pet insurance when we neutered Dexter and Chunk, and we also neutered Chewy at the time and Mango. And they offered me insurance because I got a microchip for them when they did, because they're putting them under to do the neuter. And then so I had them do a microchip at that time too. So they offer you pet insurance, but I didn't take it. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's necessary. If something happens, I just pay it out of pocket. I feel like insurance companies, I don't want to say it's a scam because it's not really like a scam, but you just keep paying and paying and paying. And I mean, there's a chance that you'll never ever use it. Look what happened to our farm at the beginning of spring this year. It cost me $18,000 because the insurance company said that falling trees onto the hydro lines are not covered by the insurance. Only falling trees onto the house are covered by insurance. So I feel like insurance companies are always finding a way not to pay. I bet you insurance companies have an entire department of people who are always trying to figure out ways not to pay. Scott Z says insurance is a racket. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, I guess, that it's like at some point, if you have to use your insurance, that's great. But you know what I mean? If you're in an area with a lot of trees and somebody down the road put a claim in because, let's say they had like a forest fire or something, it's like the insurance is going to increase your insurance just because somebody down the road put a claim in, even though you yourself have no claim. Anyways, it's crazy. I've never had an accident in my car in all my life, and I've been paying like ever since. So there's no rebate if you don't have an accident. There's no like they tell you, oh, you're going to get the 5-star rating and all that. That's a bunch of baloney. It's so much money here in Canada. Insurance is crazy. I think for our house here, and we have 2 vehicles, I think our insurance is $524 a month. And that's like a fair price when you compare it to other insurance. But it is what it is. Can you explain, Brandy is saying, can you explain why y'all had to get electricity back on after the ice storm? Is it not a public utility? So it's a private company, first of all, that provides the hydro. We in Ontario, we call it hydro. We don't call it electric. We don't call it electricity. We call it hydro because the majority of all the electricity in Ontario is produced by water, right? The water generation. How many of you guys have visited Niagara Falls? That's a massive amount of water hitting those turbines producing electricity. Canada even sells some electricity to New York. But in any case, the company will fix the electric wires leading up to your property. But any electric wires that are on your own property is your problem. So that's just the way it is. I wasn't even the only one that had this situation, but our farm is very unique, that it's very private. It's one of the things that attracted us to the property. So when basically from the road, you cannot see the farm. So the hydro lines have to run through the forest. I think there's 8 or 9 electric poles that are going through the forest. And the ice storm happened, and I guess it just trees fell down, branches fell down, and it broke the thing. And the hydro came and shut the electricity off from where their pole broke. And then it took us, I think it was almost a month trying to get that back. It was a lot of work. It's called the underwriting department. Yeah, there you go. Knock on wood, good driver. Yeah, I am a really good driver. I use my brain. I'm so mad right now. Not mad. I'm so annoyed right now because on Horseshoe Valley Road, which I travel on every single day, multiple times, there's an area that they built a school. And now there's a driveway to the school. And they've lowered the speed down to 40 kilometers an hour, but the rest of the road is 80 kilometers an hour. So to me, it's just asinine. First of all, why are you building a school off a main road? Put it off on the side road. Second of all, there's no school crosswalk there. There's no bus stops there. There's nothing. The school is all fenced in. So I don't know why they need to protect the kids in that situation too much. 40 is too slow. And I feel like, when I watch the news in Toronto, somebody's getting hit with a car every single day now. It's like when I was a kid, nobody ever get hit with a car. Very, very seldom. I think people were more cognizant. They were more aware, When I was in school, they taught us stop, look, and listen. Meaning, you pay attention to the road and then you cross. Today, people are getting hit every day. And maybe it's distracted driving is a thing too. People driving looking at their phones. Somebody's talking about some Canadian singers and bands. April Wine, yeah, Neil Young. Those are all the famous Canadians. Great. Triumph is great, actually. They all are. Crash Test Dummies. That's right. Mm-hmm. The Crash Test Dummies were pretty big for a time there. Once he was a kid who got into an accident and couldn't go to school, but when... I don't know how that guy makes his voice like that, but anyways, I can't really imitate him. Bryan Adams must be the top Canadian singer, I guess. He's like pop rock, but yeah, he's like a cherished here in Canada. I don't think you saw a message before, but cat calendar, duck calendar, chicken calendar. I have a lot of nice photos too that I take. I could easily put together a nice calendar. I don't know. I just haven't done it. It's just one of those things that I'm like, how do you do that? Is there a calendar company that you contact and then they produce the calendar? Do you guys buy the calendar straight from them? Or do they ship me? Do I have to buy 1,000 calendars and then try to sell it to you guys? So there's things that creators do to make money. And I think the real way to make good money is to do everything yourself. And I'm not even at that stage yet. I can't be doing all that. We don't even have enough viewers. Which sounds weird to say, but it is what it is. Please, not the Beebs. Yeah. I got to have lunch. You got to have lunch with the Crash Test Dummies. Does their lead singer guy talk like that with a really low voice? Like, does he talk like that when he's talking to people in general, or does he just make that voice for the songs? Top Canada's band was Rush. Rush is one of the top ones. And I mean, I think Pert is like considered at least top three or top five drummers in history, right? Triumph is touring again. Wow. He does. He does. Hey, Scott. He. So when he's talking, that's just his natural voice. That's weird, though. I mean, who has a? I guess there are men who have some kind of a low octave when they talk. Like I can somewhat control my voice. I have some fairly decent ability to change the octaves in my voice, and sometimes I can talk like this, and I can also just talk like a real man. Letterkenny's the best. I really liked Letterkenny. Trailer Park Boys was great in its time too. Bubbles is in trouble right now with the law, and I named my cat after Bubbles. So I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, R.I.P. Neil Peart. Exactly. Exactly. He's one of the greats. Especially when you think about drummers. Like when you think about bands and the famous drummers, you can only really name like a few. In my mind, I can only name a few drummers. Like I think about Phil Collins. He was a drummer. Neil Peart. There's another drummer with my name, Chad Smith. He's the Red Hot Chili Pepper guy. But I mean, who else is another drummer? Was Don Henley a drummer on the Eagles? He was the drummer, right? But he's not really known for being a drummer. So when you're talking about drummers, I mean, I think Neil Peart is one of the tops. Chad, did you ever see Canadian Bacon? Was naming all the secret Canadians in the U.S. I did watch that. That was one of John Candy's films that he made kind of just before he died. And to be honest, I don't remember it. I don't think it was one of his better ones, but John Bonham, Led Zeppelin. Yeah, John Bonham. Anyway, I'm sure there's a bunch. There's probably 5 or 6 drummers that are, tops. Yeah, it was one of his last films. Yeah, I have a bunch of John Candy's films. My favorite films of his was Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and I also like Stripes with Harold Ramis and Bill Murray. That's just such a classic. Judge Reinhold's in that too, and they're all young, right? They're really young. And I like The Great Outdoors. I like Summer Rental. Those are all John Candy's big hits. Uncle Buck is another one. My favorite in Uncle Buck, he makes that huge shovel. He turns it into a spatula to make Macaulay Culkin like a huge pancake. It was really funny. But Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I think you can't beat that one. Especially like when he's in the car and the car's burning down. Well, no, the car didn't burn down yet. He's just driving in the car and he's screwing around with the seat buttons trying to go forward because he's so fat, right? And then he starts to feel hot, so he starts taking his big parka off, and he's got to stretch his hands to get the parka off, and then his parka gets caught underneath the handle of the seat, and he starts lifting his legs up like this, like trying to drive with his 2 legs. Anyways, it's just you can't beat that kind of comedy. I can't even name a comedy like in the past, like I don't know, 20 years. What's your favorite comedy? Like I liked The 40-Year-Old Virgin when that came out. That was really funny, and it's a very rewatchable movie. I like This Is 40 with Paul Rudd. That was really funny too. But the water skiing scene in Uncle Buck, yeah, that is a good one. The Hangover. Yeah, The Hangover was a great one at the time. Dumb and Dumber. You can't beat Dumb and Dumber. Scott Z. I've probably watched Dumb and Dumber maybe 50 times. Like, I can't even count now how many times I've watched it. And I find myself quoting Dumb and Dumber a lot. And it's really a dumb movie, but man, you just can't beat it. Like, sometimes I'll say something is happening in my life and I'll say, "Whoa, that sure is warm." And I'm thinking about Jim Carrey on that little baby motorcycle with, what's his name? Lloyd Christmas, and Harry was on his back. He was holding his back and he says, I gotta pee, pull over. And he goes, "Just go, man, just go." And then they're going along, and then Lloyd says, "Wow, that sure is warm." Because he peed like right on him and it went through his clothes, right? Anyways, Lalia, the Blues Brothers, yeah, they were great. You can't beat the bathroom scene with Dumb and Dumber also. That's probably the greatest bathroom scene of all time. And I think it's pretty close with Along Came Polly. Is it Along Came Polly with Ben Stiller and Jen Aniston, where he goes into her bathroom and it's something happens there too. But man, those scenes just get me every time. I can't hold in my laughter. It's probably a guy thing too. I think most girls don't care for that kind of comedy, but yeah, I am a Jays fan and I am a Leafs fan and I am a long-suffering Leafs fan. I'm just an all-around Toronto fan and I'm like a proud Canadian, right? So when you talk about the Raptors, they're our only team in basketball now, right? They closed down the one out in BC. But if you're talking baseball as well, all we have is the Toronto Blue Jays. They were doing really good, the Blue Jays. I thought they were going to win it. If that ball didn't get stuck in the bottom of the ground there, they might have won it. But yeah, the Leafs aren't doing really well this year. It is what it is. I'm almost 50 years old and I have yet to see my favorite team win. Oh, Matt, hi Chad, watching this on a rare rainy day in San Diego. So it's rainy day. The Grizzlies moved from Vancouver to Memphis. Yeah. I know what you mean there about the small markets, but oh, Chad, shame on you. What do you mean girls don't? Well, I mean, they might. I'm just speaking from like experience with my girl. Remy don't like that movie. She thinks it's so dumb. Something About Mary was great. Something About Mary was another, especially when he zipped up his thing in the bathroom. Remember, he was going and he's looking all over and then they all saw him. So he zipped it up really quick and it all got stuck in the zipper. It's like, oh man, I think about that and I'm like, oh, that had to hurt. But Ben Stiller has put in some really stellar. Yeah, it was a heartbreaking series for the Jays. And I mean, everything, when you lose, you look back and in hindsight. And I mean, that one play where I can't even remember the guy's name, but he's the one he messed it up, in my opinion. He was on third and the ball was hit, but it's like it was bases loaded. So he should have taken a lead off third. He could have already been like a third of the way home. And then, the ball got hit and then it got thrown back to home. And I mean, it was close, but he also tried to do a slide. Why would you slide? If you're trying to keep your speed, you never slide. Sliding is slower than running. I don't know. That's what I was always taught. So he didn't take a good enough lead when he should have, because if he would have taken a bigger lead, he would have beat the throw home. That's just my professional opinion, or non-professional. Thomas Winter likes the Three Stooges. Yeah, you can never go wrong with the Three Stooges. The Three Stooges are that kind of show that you can rewatch the same thing. It's like always funny. Don says, oh no, I'm 45 minutes late. Don Loosier. That's because I was just trying to explain to everybody what happened with the Cat House live feed today. And it was kind of a failure. It was a failure, not kind of. So I decided I better just get on quick. And I don't know how many people will join. It doesn't even matter. I just wanted to kind of explain that I tried to do a live feed in the Cat House and it didn't work out. And I still need to figure that out to do more in there. Yeah. KF, yeah. That's his name, I guess, there. Had no secondary lead. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. And I mean, there's a third base coach, is there not? So I don't know. There's so many things that you look back on that you're thinking, why the hell did the manager pull the pitcher like immediately? He just got like 1 or 2 hits, man on first, man on second, and he's going to pull the starter. I'm like, you got to get the starter at least to the 6th inning. He was pulling him in like the 4th and the 5th inning. And I'm like, you're going to burn out your relievers. And look what happened on that really long game. They had no relievers left on both sides. Don says, Chad, are you old enough to have attended a game at Old Tiger Stadium? Tiger Stadium, you mean like Hamilton Tiger Cats? If that's what you do mean, no, I've never been to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I've been to the Argonauts game. Where did they play? I think they played on where was it? It wasn't Exhibition Place. It was like Rico area. I think they played in the Sky Dome for a little bit too, but Rich says, what's the next video on, Chad? Well, here's the thing, Rich, about winter. There's not much going on in the winter. So I am trying to come up with some stories that goes along with doing animal chores and whatnot. Tomorrow's video is just kind of a Christmas video that I filmed. And it's just me with the animals going around doing feedings. And I spend time in the cat house and spend time at each animal area. Brandy Man, will the 3039R feature in the next few weeks? Asking for a friend. Yeah, for sure it will. I don't know about being featured, but it's definitely being used in the videos. I use that tractor a lot when I'm doing sawmill stuff, and I just did that Wicked Awesome. I thought it was Wicked Awesome, that video, where just showing the trials and tribulations of trying to get the snow cleared, trying to get all your setup right so that you can do your sawmill. And I mean, it's just, some people don't like those kind of videos, and that's okay. Somebody put a comment in that video and they said, why are you making a video about snow blowing? It's so boring. I really like you. I'm not trying to hate on you. It's just so boring. And I replied and I gave a little bit of an explanation. Like, I mean, there are times, believe it or not, that I'm forced to coincide what I want to make a video about with what work I have to do on the farm. So if there's something that I need to get done on the farm and I do that thing on the farm, then when am I going to film a video? So I coincide, okay, I need to do sawmilling today. So I'm making a sawmill video. I don't do that all the time, but sometimes that's just the way it works out. Jamie Gonzalez says, hi, Chad. Have you ever thought of making a catio up on a real tree? from Santiago, Chile. So if you're from Chile, then your name is Jaime, I guess, right? You wouldn't pronounce it Jamie like the Western way. I have thought of that, to be honest. There is a tree right outside. I thought of building some kind of a little surround up there. And I have also a thought to really expand the catio, like build a whole new catio that's on the other side of the road, which would have a bridge from this catio. It would have a bridge over to the other catio. That way you can still walk and I can still drive my machinery underneath. But I don't know how far in the future. That's probably years down the road. But when you're running a YouTube channel, you need content. So how many of you guys follow other farm channels or homestead channels? I'm sure I can't be the only one that you follow. But how many of those channels that you are following have bought another property or sold their house and they're moving, or they selling their farm, or there's always some story that goes along with it, or I bought a new cabin or something, because you need content. People say, well, I just love watching at the farm and do that. There's people that do that too, but you constantly need new content. And that's no hate against anybody. Someone says, I follow Goldshaw Farm in Vermont. And besides this one. Goldshaw Farm, I got a bone to pick with him because he started naming a lot of his cows and his animals from like dead rock stars. Like, that's what I was doing. I started that and he copied me. I named my roosters dead rock stars. And then all of a sudden now he has a cow named Elvis Presley. He's got like all these cows, and sometimes he eats them after he names them. And it's no hate against him. Guess what? We're all influencers. We influence you guys and we influence each other at the same time. But it's all just in fun, I guess. Don says, Chad, no, I meant old Detroit Tiger Stadium. No, I've never been down to Detroit, and I've never watched a ball game in Detroit. I enjoy Goldshaw Farm too, Thomas Winter says. He's really good. Like, you can't hate on the guy. He's built really a good channel, but there's a big difference between Goldshaw Farm and Hidden Spring Farm. And one of the things that I talked to my wife about that, maybe you viewers, maybe you don't necessarily think about from building a YouTube channel perspective, is I burnt a lot of content in my early years of the farm, even before I was even remotely good on camera. And I'm talking like I built things, I built a chicken house, I built a wicked awesome duck house and a rabbit house, and I did all that like just trying to grow the channel, and I'm trying to build the farm at the same time. And so now I've kind of built everything. What else am I going to build? There's still a bunch of things I want to build, and I'm going to build some tiny houses, and I'm going to build a cabin in our forest and stuff like that. I want to build a bee barn. I don't know anything about bees, but I want to build a bee barn, and that'll just help the bees survive winter. But when I think about what happened during COVID, like a channel like Goldshaw Farm, and again, it's no hate against him at all. He's really good. I admire him. But he had his channel, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, and everybody was watching YouTube on COVID, right? Because we were all stuck in our houses, and his channel kind of started to blow up. So if you think about, I'm 5 years now building my channel, and I'm at 200,000, just over 200,000 subscribers. At the 5-year mark, he was at like 400 or 500 already. And I mean, I don't want to say that he makes better content or I make better content. I think our contents are really similar, which is okay. But I mean, he just gained a lot of followers and subscribers just from making quirky videos. He didn't really build anything on his farm. I think in the early years of his channel, he built like a duck house and some fencing and stuff like that. And I mean, so that's kind of it's not really a mistake, but it's just, that's how me building the farm went. I burned, like, can you imagine if I have, let's say I have 500,000 subscribers, right? And then I build that chicken house and you guys get to see the building of the chicken house. Can you imagine? That video's got to go viral, but it didn't go viral because I built it like 3 years ago when my channel only had like 60,000 subscribers. The subscriber count helps because when you put out a video, let's say I release a video, you're going to get like 8% of your viewers that are going to watch the video right away. So I need to get myself up to where a lot of those bigger name channels are, like Goldshot Farm, right? Like if he puts out a video, he'll get 30, 40, 50,000 views like within a couple of days. Whereas I'm kind of getting 9, 10, 11,000 views after a couple of days. So I'm still considering myself a success. I got to kind of get up there and continue making good content and continue coming up with good stories. Somebody mentioned Nate Petrovsky. Yeah, he's another one. He's like, I don't know, his personality is not really my cup of tea, but good for him. He's doing his thing. I find that he has just way too many like ads. Like I don't mean ads on the channel itself. I just mean him having sponsorship deals. So he's always trying to sell something. And there's no hate against it, really. It's just, I don't do that. I've made a conscious decision not to do that. Bush Radical. I like Bush Radical too, Holly. Yeah. I must admit, though, I don't have time to follow all the channels that I like religiously because I'm super busy. But that Nate Petrosky, or if that's his name, Petrosky, he wasn't even on YouTube. He was only doing like shorts. And he gained a huge following. But I mean, if he's another one that it's like, I think he has like 1.5 million followers now on YouTube, which is massive. And it's only been like a short time that he's doing YouTube. He was doing TikTok a lot. But I mean, he's a homestead kind of guy. He doesn't really show anything to do with homesteading on his videos. He doesn't really showcase his animals. He doesn't have any how-to videos. He doesn't have any searchable titles. And I think that affects his channel as well because he's got 1.5 million followers, but when he puts out a video, he's not getting 100,000 views even. It's low. A lot of people in here are saying that we're the only one that you follow. I think a lot of that has to do with the cats. People found our channel because of the cats. And then maybe a lot of people end up liking like whatever else we do on the channel. Lalia says, some of your old videos have come across my feed and I have to say, wow, the progress you've made. Yeah. I mean, it's not only the progress on the property itself, right, Lalia? It's like, for me, when I watch it, it's progress in me. It's like my first 200 videos, I was way different on camera, way different. Now I'm a little bit more comfortable on camera. There's little things you have to learn, like when you got your phone and you're trying to film, you have to learn to look at the camera, not to look at the picture of yourself. So when you're like watching it back and you're watching the camera, it's always your eyes are off to the side because you're looking in the wrong spot. So that's one of the things that I'm constantly trying to work on to get better. The reason he names his cattle with dead rock stars is because they're going to be used eventually for food. Yeah, I get that, but guaranteed he got the idea for dead rock stars from me because I was already naming my roosters dead rock stars, right? We had Freddie Mercury, Elvis, and Michael Jackson. But again, there's no hate at all. I love his cows, Goldshot Farm. His cows are beautiful cows, and I think it's that breed, the Scottish Highland cow. It's really a beautiful cow. It's nice and shaggy, especially when it's all covered in snow. And it's really if I was to get cows, I kind of feel like it would be nice to have that same kind of cow. Somebody says, I also watched Raven Tree Ranch. They have amazing LGDs. Yeah, that's good. Scott says, you just went live. Grow that and stand back and watch those numbers explode. And I know, Scott, I know you sent me a bunch of emails, some long ass emails too. And I did read them. I haven't replied yet. But some good ideas. You were giving me, Scott, you were giving me an idea to manufacture myself some kind of hinge. And the way you were explaining this hinge, I'm like, you can just buy that hinge. I don't need to make it myself. So I think when you see the video, when's that video going to be? Maybe that's Monday's video. You're going to see this hinge strap and the bracket, and you're going to think, oh yeah, that's exactly what I was explaining in my email to Chad, because I do get lots of emails from people suggesting things and asking questions too. Don says, Chad, are you a Maple Leafs fan? You think they can make the playoffs? I am a Maple Leafs fan for my whole life, Don. I'm a Toronto fan. I don't know if they can make the playoffs, to be honest. I kind of wish that they wouldn't make the playoffs because I think some of their players need like a kick in the rear end, you know what I mean, to smarten up. And I also think that they need to continue their drafts. So they got a bunch of young players, right? They got Nylander, Marner, Matthews, and then they traded away. Like they thought they were going to win the cup and they traded away all their draft picks. So for the next few years, they didn't have any number one draft picks, and we still don't have a goalie. You cannot win the Stanley Cup and you can't go far in the playoffs without a goaltender. So I don't know. I really don't think they're going to do it this year. They were close last year too. But man, Scott Zimmerman says, don't be so modest. We like you and what you do. I appreciate that, Scott. I mean, I do. I like to stay humble. I like just a quick say Merry Christmas. Knock Chilton. I think you're in the UK. Anyways, Merry Christmas to you as well. Nighty night. You got to get to bed before Santa comes. Michael Coonan says, I bet that many of your followers have the same main reasons that they follow your channel. You're probably right about that. Somebody's asking, where's the super chat icon? I don't see a place to donate. I don't know. I think it's at the bottom. I don't know how that works. I'm not here for that anyways. Don't feel pressured. If you want to support the farm, that's terrific. I'll gladly accept it. Yeah, Waleska Quintana says, love the Highland cows. They're so cute. They're very cute as babies, and because their shaggy coat is just so beautiful. Thomas Winter, we need a cooking with Remy video. We have done cooking videos in the past. First of all, they didn't do very well. That's the one thing. So when it doesn't mean you don't stop trying new things, but also
my wife Remy is not really a YouTube person. She's like not interested. I gotta like beg her to be on camera sometimes. You guys don't see that part of it, and I'm like, please, can you just talk about your veggies today? She's so much conscious and shyer than I am. I've kind of grown out of my shyness. I just blurt things out, and I don't even care what anybody thinks. I'm kind of past that stage of being shy, you know. I had somebody comment on a video, I think it was 2 or 3 videos ago, and I guess I was saying excavator a lot during that video, and I guess the pronunciation of the word excavator and the way I say it and the way it's so cold outside, your face kind of gets cold. And I was saying like excavator, not excavator, right? And this person put a comment in there. Oh, you found it, cat lady. Thanks so much, eh? Merry Christmas. I'll be doing a live from the cat house at some point too, again. I tried it again. I tried it today, cat lady, that I just set up the camera and then walk away and do my chores around the farm, and it didn't work out too well. It just ended up being choppy and frozen, and then the camera was just sitting there and it lost its signal, and I didn't even know because I'm out on the farm. So I don't know. I probably screwed that up a little bit, but I'll at some point over the holidays, I'll be in the cat house and do a live from there as well. Yeah, Karan, not that it's not that she doesn't like YouTube. It's just that she's not like an outward personality like me. Like I feel like you cannot get me to shut up. It's very difficult to get me to shut up because I just keep talking and talking, and maybe in the YouTube world, that's good. It's probably good for doing these live streams because I don't shut up. I keep talking. So she would, if she was here with me, she wouldn't be saying a word. She would just be sitting there and looking cute. Scott Zimmerman. Yeah, call it. So anyways, this person put a comment saying, why do you keep saying excavator? And he highlighted the S, excavator. And maybe too, it has, when you're watching the AI translate the language, when you get the closed captioning on the screen, maybe it shows up as excavator. So I replied to him and I'm like, you're busting my chops about the way I pronounce excavator. It's like an $80,000 machine. I know that it's called an excavator. So in the comment back, I said excavator. I'm saying excavator, but it's cold outside, and the way it's my Canadian accent coming out of me, maybe. Anyways, it's just back to the point. Like, I don't even know what to say sometimes. I don't care if somebody doesn't agree with how I say excavator. Thanks, Jane. Appreciate it. You have a Merry Christmas as well. I'll be sure to let Remy know. I don't know if Remy's watching right now. She's upstairs doing a bunch of cooking. I shouldn't even tell you she's doing cooking because you're going to want me to go see what she's up to. I don't even think I could do that because the camera's right here. Lalia says, you seem like such a laid back, overall good guy. I am an overall good guy. I mean, I'd like to think so. Don says, thank you for answering all my questions. It's the only farm show I watch. Right on, Don. Yeah. Somebody says, it's like ice cream. You know, the accent when they say ice cream from the South. Ice cream. Yeah, it's an accent. It doesn't mean I'm pronouncing it wrong, but the fact that somebody is actually going to spend like a minute to type that out on their phone or whatever. Somebody asked, do you drink? Are you still a good guy after that? I don't really drink. I'm not a drinker. I got a bunch of eggnog. My wife bought a bunch of eggnog because I got family coming over for the holidays, and I like putting a little bit of Bailey's Irish cream in there in the eggnog, sometimes rum in the eggnog. But I have a big, massive bottle of Smirnoff vodka. I have a big, massive bottle of Jim Beam, and I have a big, massive bottle of Jack Daniels. And we bought that probably 20 years ago in the United States. And I'm still working on those bottles. Some of them have a lot in it. So I don't know. If one bottle of booze can last for 20 years, I don't think I'm a drinker. My nose is getting itchy. What do you do when you have to scratch your nose when you're live? Do people just scratch their nose? Or do they do one of these? I don't know how people do that. I got to start watching some more lives to know how people behave. Chad is my brother from another mother. Yeah, that's how we roll. Do I prefer CFL over NFL? No. I think there's so many rules in the CFL that I don't even get, to be honest. I haven't watched a CFL game in ages. Lalia says, I'm from Michigan, so I understand your dialect. Yeah, exactly. It's my little dialect from up here in mid-Ontario, Canada. Hey, Chad, what do you call that strong coffee that Italians drink? You mean like espresso? Espresso? Espresso. Espresso. I think it's just espresso, no X, right? I get that one right. Pam Lucas says, I just love everything about you and Remy. You're so interesting. Please don't change anything. No, I don't change anything. I got onto that topic because I was just telling a story about how that's how I am. So if somebody puts some comments, I'm like, I don't care what the comments are about. I'm kind of past that stage where I care what people think. People tell me to lose weight all the time. I've had people on the channel in the comments saying like, you should lose some weight. You would feel a lot better around the farm. And I mean, I am a little bit of a big guy. I recognize that, but I'm probably the hardest worker that any of you ever met in your life. My work ethic is probably on par with your great grandfather's time, right? It doesn't match the work ethic of a Gen Xer, because I'm a Gen Xer, and I mean, Gen Xers are hard workers in itself, but I mean, despite the fact that I'm overweight, I'm super healthy. I'm super strong. I'm strong like an ox. Like, I'm not talking about bench pressing or lifting weights kind of strong. I'm talking about just picking up sheer weight. Like, I can carry a big weight. Lalia says, how rude. Yeah, people are, you got to deal with that. Mikhail says, even with extra weight, you're doing so much of a workout. It's like, it's not cardio work. So it's like, I have a hard time losing weight. And I love food. My only habit really is food. I love food. Remy's an amazing cook too. And we've been together 30 plus years. We've been married 30 years. So she's got certain foods that I like. She's got it down to like a perfect recipe. Like, I like eating tacos. Who likes tacos? Everybody must like tacos, right? The thing with her tacos, though, is that I only eat one taco for dinner. You know what I mean? I don't eat those tiny little taco things. It's a big, round, soft wrap. And we fold it, and I have a special way of folding it. And I put like this much of the taco beef down there, and then cheese and salsa and lettuce. And it's like massive. And I only eat one taco on that night. The same applies to Fozzie. Fozzie can run if he wants to. I've seen him run a couple times, but that's about it. Yeah, I mean, people just love to say stuff on the internet. people, they're more comfortable to say things that they wouldn't necessarily say if they were right in front of you, right? Merry Christmas, Pam. Thanks so much for saying that. I would love to see you make one taco. Yeah. Legend says animals get a gift of speech on Christmas Eve. You never know. Keyboard bullies. Yeah, I don't know. I'm over it. You know what I mean? Like it takes a lot to get me upset online. I get annoyed when people think that they're like know-it-all type people, and they'll tell me something like the cats are cold, for example. The cats are not cold. I wouldn't leave my cats in the cat house if they were cold. So it's not like a situation of the cats are going to die if I don't give them heat. The cats enjoy their life, I feel. So I get more annoyed than angry. I don't get angry anymore. I'm like, if it's something that I don't agree with, I just delete it off the channel, or I just don't reply to it, period. Because there's a lot of comments that I just can't reply to because it's just like I can't keep up. Yeah, Claudio Russo. I mean, of course, everybody's health is their own business, right? Like, but I don't even think of it as that way. I just think of it as, somebody might put a comment on my video after watching one video. So I don't think anybody would try to shame me for having extra pounds in my midsection if they watched for a year and you saw all the work that I do on a regular basis in my life and on the farm. There's no way that anybody could say anything. Like, it's just people just blurt things out online because they don't know. They don't know, or they don't care to know is another thing too, right? Somebody says cats are used to the cold because the desert is cold at night. Yeah, I know they're totally okay. And people use that argument with me all the time in the comments. They say, well, cats are from Northern Africa, so they need warmth. And then I'll usually say, you're talking about 30,000 years ago when they were from Northern Africa. Our Canadian cats are adapted to Canada by now. Trust me. I had the cats out in the snow today. Just today, I had the cats out. I called all the cats back, and they all came back to the cat house. And then I set up that live stream. So I had the cats out for about maybe 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half. They don't go far in the snow because they're smart enough to know that there's deep snow way over there. They always kind of walk where I've cleared. Yeah, Michael, I try to ignore certain things because it's like arguing is futile, you know? There's times in the past that I have attempted to kind of state my case on whatever it is the topic was, and then they end up coming back, and then I'm like, okay, do I want to waste my time coming back again? I want to get the last word. There was somebody in the comments on the video I did a few videos ago about the pigs. The video was called it was a good day for the pigs. We finally found a vet. We finally got Billy's hooves trimmed, and I showed the before that showed the hooves long, like the nails were long, and then I showed the after, and it was a whole story in the video. There was one commenter there that was basically saying it's like animal abuse, like somebody should report you to the authorities because you obviously don't know how to take care of pigs, and you shouldn't have animals if you don't know how to take care of them, and if you don't have a vet, you should have never get an animal if you don't have a vet. Like, how would you even get how would you even get your pigs to a vet if you had an emergency? You don't even have like a trailer. Like, how would you even do it? And they're going on and on and on in the comments. And I simply tried to plead my case. I said, and answering the person back, I said, listen, We're all learning. I'm learning. I don't think the pig was so uncomfortable that it was affecting her life. Billy was just fine, even though the nails were long. It didn't get to the point that she can't walk anymore. I don't know. There's always going to be two sides to a story. Don says, Chad, big tall guys can develop bad backs like mine. How is your back? I'll tell you what, Don, I'm strong as an ox. Now, one of my early jobs back in the day, like when I was young, was like furniture moving. And I mean, furniture was a lot heavier back then too. I was obviously trained and learned how to maneuver. You guys see me picking up big logs and stumps and all sorts of stuff. I'm pretty strong. Not to toot my own horn. I just mean my body's physically strong. Even though I'm a tall, bigger man, I got the power of 6 horses. Michael, yeah, the Maine Coons. I would sure love to have a Maine Coon cat. I've seen some videos of these massive Maine Coons that just look so beautiful. I bet you Bubbles has a little bit of Maine Coon DNA. I mean, I'm sure all our cats have all the DNA, but Rosario Walker says, we are amazed at your ability to build all the buildings, especially the sawmill. Thanks. Appreciate that. Sometimes I amaze myself. I just amazed myself today doing something, which you'll see next week. Sometimes I amaze myself. Oh, somebody, Aubrey, she says, that's why I refuse to have social media or post anything personal. People are so ridiculous, and I don't have the tolerance for it. So, Aubrey, going back to Remy's not really into YouTube, that's her issue. She doesn't have a tolerance for what people are going to say. Whereas I'm like tough. Like, I don't even care what people say. You can say whatever you want. It's my channel. It's my farm. Only 6 horses? I don't know how to calculate horsepower, but I mean, I figure 6 horses is pretty good. I am a Clydesdale. I got size 13 hooves on me. Pam Lucas says, my 2 Black Panthers, Luna and Willow, send best wishes. Give them some hugs for me, Pam. Oh, yeah, Aubrey, you got a cat that looks like Chunk. Eh? He's 25 pounds. I bet you Chunk has got to be 20 pounds. When the cats go into the vet, they get weighed, but they've put on weight since the last time they've been at the vet. They don't need to go to the vet every 6 months. This year, Chunk is pretty big. You know who else is getting big? Mr. Mango. He's starting to get that primordial pouch underneath. I don't mind them having a little bit of extra weight in the winter anyway. It helps them. Pam says, I could watch you milling the wood all day, every day. It's very enjoyable to do, you know, Pam. It's like, I like it. I feel like even if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would still want to get a sawmill and do that as like a hobby. Like, I'm into that kind of thing. I like being outside. I like doing stuff outside. I like tools. I've spent like my whole adult life collecting tools. And I mean, some tools have changed and improved over the years, but I don't know. I'm into that kind of stuff. I like gadgets. I like computers. I like the big machinery too. Now that I've gotten a farm, and then you have to kind of invest in some machinery. Where would I be if I didn't have the certain machineries like the excavator? And I said excavator. The excavator is like key during that ice storm that we had. I couldn't enter the property for 2 days, people. 2 days. I couldn't even enter through the driveway. I had to park my vehicle at the front of the driveway because we couldn't enter. I had to walk all the way in, and the excavator, because it was like dead winter and I had it in the open behind the barn, I couldn't get it started. I had to call my neighbor. My neighbor came over. He couldn't get it started. We had to take the battery out and take it inside for a few hours, so that it's like, it was a huge ordeal. Jackie says, so I gather you're enjoying the live chat now? Ha ha ha. Yeah, I kind of like it. I do enjoy it. It's a nice way to kind of banter back and forth with you guys. And, you know, maybe there's some people that'll jump on the live every time. And maybe there's others that are, you know, they have a life, or they're busy, or they're doing all this. Met Fanal said, did you play hockey or baseball as a youngster? So that's a good question. I was a hockey kid, and I played hockey right up until I was 17 years old. And when I was 16 years old, I was in this house league, and they had closed down. They were just closing down. I played at the Oriole Arena, which used to be called the Don Valley Arena. Now it was the Oriole Arena. I don't know what it's called now, but it was by the Peanut Plaza in Toronto, not far from Fairview Mall. And so they closed down. So the next season, which I was turning 17, I joined the men's league. I'm like, I'm a pretty big kid. I can handle a little bit of roughness. You know what I mean? Anyways, I lasted 2 games, and I tore my medial collateral ligament in my knee. You know who tore my medial collateral ligament? A defenseman named Bruiser. So he body checked me, and my body went in the wrong way, and it kind of pulled my ligament. But I also played baseball. I played baseball. I played soccer for a couple of summers, and then I said, no, I want to switch to baseball in the summer. So for me, it was always, actually, we didn't even have baseball. We had softball. I just say baseball. We had hockey, and then baseball. I was a really good baseball too, because I was a great hitter, and I had the long ball, and I had a great arm. Like I could throw people out from a good distance. But yeah, I mean, I was a decent player, but I wasn't in the top 1% that I can go pro or anything like that. My parents didn't really have any money either. You know, if you are a hockey kid and you think you're a little bit good, and you think you want to pursue playing pro hockey, your parents have to invest a lot of time and money taking you all over the place to go to all the different tournaments and getting you all the best equipment. I always had used equipment from Mr. Williams's basement. My dad used to just trade in last year's equipment for some bigger size. Aubrey says, I love that about Remy. Is it Remy or Remy? She's asking. So it's her full name. Keep in mind, she's from the Philippines, and keep in mind that in the 1600s, the Philippines was a Spanish colony, right? So there's a lot of Spanish all over the Philippines. Remy's name is Remedios. But for short, it's just Remy, R-E-M-Y. That's the way she spells it. Yeah, I just let things roll off my shoulders. You must have delivered some bone. Yeah, because you know what? What Metfanal? Is that like one whole name, Metfanal? Anyways, yeah, you know, ever since I was maybe like 8 or 9 years old, I really had my growth spurt, and I was pretty big. Like I was already a big kid. You would think that I was like in 2 other grades. I was always the tallest, biggest kid in my class. So yeah, we delivered some massive checks. I had a wicked wrist shot. Like if I shot the puck with my wrist shot and it missed the net and it hit the boards behind the net, it echoed in the entire building. And you know why I got such a heavy wrist shot is because of my dad. He got me, it's like an orange colored plastic puck, but it's like a weighted puck. It was really heavy. And then we had a net in the backyard. We just had this tiny little townhouse backyard, but I had a net, a hockey net, and I would just play. You would just shoot the puck. But because this puck was so heavy, and then all of a sudden you play with a normal weighted puck, you can really whip it. And we didn't have all the technology either that they have now. Now they have composite sticks that kind of whiplash the puck. Helen Stewart says, Chad, you're a natural on camera. I love the live chats. Olive's here. Olive, come here. She's right here, Helen. Olive, come here. Sit. Sit. Okay, show your face. See, she's right here. She's right here. She's always by my side. She's a very, very good dog, Olive. She's got a big pillow over there. It's not really a dog bed. It looks like a decorative pillow, but it's huge and it fits her fine. So she always lies down there. Once in a while, she'll check in on me right here, though. Oh, Mystic Gypsy. So happy to catch a bit of another live. I enjoy your stories. Merry Christmas to you too. Thanks so much. So Mystic Gypsy. So I attempted today in the cat house to do a live feed, not with me in it, just setting up the camera with a Wi-Fi booster, trying to get like a widescreen shot of the cats in the cat house, just a live feed, not a live chat. And it didn't go over very well. It was a couple of attempts. It was very choppy and it cut out and it bogged down and buffered a lot. So I kind of shut it down and I wanted to come on to explain what happened to all the people who were watching that, because I was thinking, man, a lot of people must have been watching that and they must be wondering what happened. So I just wanted to kind of jump on quick and explain. And of course, now we've been on for an hour and 37 minutes because, again, I keep talking. I'm getting thirsty and I didn't bring any drinks with me. I got to be better prepared. Anyways, I like telling stories. Sticks or $300 skates or $1,000. Yeah, the skates and the sticks, they're unbelievable. Like, how much is a composite stick? Like $110? When I was a kid, my dad used to wait for the Titan wood stick to go on sale at Canadian Tire. They were like $9.99 on sale. He'd buy like a few of the sticks. They were all like wooden sticks when I was in. Then they came out with aluminum shaft. The shaft of the hockey stick was aluminum, and you just had these little inserts, the blades, which I never got into that. I thought that was just crazy. I always used to see the blade part always used to come out. They weren't glued in properly. Yeah, Kate Phoenix, she is a very smart dog. And I mean, I don't know how many of you guys followed back when we had Molly Girl. Molly was our first dog and she passed away already. I feel like Molly was so much more stubborn compared with Olive. Not necessarily in a bad or negative way. I just mean I have videos on the channel, loads of videos of Molly, and she used to go far, far, far in the field on the farm. And I'd be wondering, where's Molly? What's going on? And then I would see her like a kilometer away, and I would try to zoom in my iPhone as far as it could go. And I used to make a joke of it because she was so stubborn. She wouldn't listen to me, but I used to make a joke of it on the channel, and I'd be zoomed in on the field. I'd say, Molly, where are you going? That's too far. Come back here. And then you could see the video looking at me in the video, and then she'd just turn around and keep on going. She like complete disregard for me, you know what I mean? But in like a cute way. And then, we got Olive, and then Olive started to follow her wherever they were. But since Molly's been gone now, Olive never does that. Olive is attached to my hip. Everywhere I go on the farm, Olive is there. And I think it actually makes for really nice videos on the channel, right? Because if you think about any like YouTube people that are doing farm stuff or homestead stuff on their channel, I can't think of any dog farmer partnership like Olive and I that are in the videos. Olive is literally in like almost all the videos, right? Now, everybody has a dog. A lot of people have livestock dogs. Some people have companion dogs, and they'll show the dogs on and off. But I've never seen anybody that has a dog that literally follows them around the farm every single time. And that's Olive. She's really an amazing. Emily Sigmund says, my husband is about to unwrap the Hidden Spring Farm merch I got him for Christmas. That's awesome. He is going to love it, I'm sure. So he's a big fan too, eh, Emily? Thanks for the support. Oh, Issy Missy, I was there for your live feed this morning. Thanks for the explanation. Yeah, it's I feel like I want to explain because it was such a failure. I didn't want to just leave it and have everybody going into Christmas and the holidays, and then I wouldn't be talking to you guys. Yeah, Scott, she's very bright. Like there's things, I don't know. She knows the difference between Kong and ball and toy. So if we're like, if I say, where's your toy? She goes to get the toy, whatever toy it is. Even bone too. She knows bone. So she'll go and get the little bones that we have for her that she chews on. Methanol, is the periodic table your favorite Jeopardy category? So you're looking at this, right? Sorry. Let me get this out of the way. Yeah, this is I don't even know why I have the periodic table. It's just a funny thing. I wasn't very good at chemistry in science class. So I don't even know why I have it. It has nothing to do with what I do in my life. I have no need for it. But I'm like, what if I need to know, like one of these, I don't even know what the numbers are. Like, what if you need to know the atomic number of like sodium? And now at least, so I have this periodic table of elements with me. That's not my favorite Jeopardy category anyways. Don says, Chad, do you rent a house or an apartment when you two sleep? Maybe you didn't hear me talking about this the last live we did. You asked me about where do we live. So we have two properties. We have the farm property, but we also have our house, which is about 20 minutes away. I don't know when. I can't give any estimate, but the overall plan is to sell our house. That's this house. This is the house that we live in. I want to sell this house, and I want to build my own house on the farm. Now, I probably won't build it myself, but I want to build a brand new house on the farm. So when somebody is renting the farm stay, which is that 110-year-old farmhouse, that has nothing to do with our sleeping arrangements. Somebody is asking BDF 222, Chad, are you planning to do these lives at a consistent time? I think that's hard to answer, but I think I need to come up with some kind of a schedule. That's the first thing. And the second thing is I need to, when I do have a schedule, I need to have it scheduled in YouTube so that all you guys will get a notification that there's a live, let's say 24-hour notice or something like that. There's a live tomorrow at whatever time it is. So there's that. But I think I might enjoy the lives to the point that I might just do lives whenever I want. So I don't know yet. Like it's tough to answer exactly, but yeah, it's just to talk on that topic some more about doing lives at a consistent time. There are a wide variety of viewers all around the world also. So I think maybe if I change it up sometimes, then it gives other folks a chance to be part of the live too, who are, let's say, sleeping. Like somebody in the UK just put a note here that they're going to bed, sleepy time for them. So, I mean, I'm not cognizant of the different time zones around the world. I know Philippines because the Philippines is a complete reverse. So right now it's 6:30 here, which is our time. In the Philippines, it would be 6:30 in the morning. So that part's easy for me because my wife's from the Philippines. She's always talking to her family on FaceTime and all that. Somebody says, you're about 50 miles away from Perry Sound. Yeah, Perry Sound is not really that far. I'd like to know more about Ontario if I need to move to Canada. Well, you can ask. I'll try to answer the best I can. I'm not necessarily a expert on all of Ontario, but I've lived here for my whole life. Yeah, most of the videos, Scott, most of the videos that we've done in the kitchen with Remy, she's not really the one talking. It's me kind of explaining or narrating some of it. Yeah, zipped up kits. You need to build the house and have someone helping you. When you're talking like a dwelling that you're going to be living in, there's so many building codes. I honestly don't think I can build a house to the building code properly in a reasonable amount of time that I would want the house to be built. So if you just think about my life, when am I going to be building the house? Every day? I'm working. Maybe if like YouTube blows up and I don't need to work anymore because YouTube's making me so much money, then maybe I'll be okay then, and I'll be able to like spend more time. Plus, it's like there's certain things that I wouldn't be able to do building my own house. Like maybe I could dig the hole for the foundation, but who's gonna pour the foundation for the basement? You know what I mean? So it's like somebody like you need to know how to do all that. I kind of have an idea how to do that, but even if I hire a builder though, that would I think be part of it that I would want to do some content on it. Maybe not necessarily the workers' faces or get them in the shots, but I would definitely update everybody. So Michael says a house 20 minutes away. It all depends on the roads. No, I don't think it's 15 kilometers. There's from our house to the farm, there's only one traffic light and there's one train crossing. And the rest of it is just straight. It's never taken me more than 20 minutes. Somebody's asking, Aubrey is asking, is Canada better than the USA? I have never been to Canada, so I can't comment. I've been to the USA many times, many times. My wife, Remy, her sister and family are in Chino, California. We visited them many times. I've driven all over. I like doing long driving trips, and my wife too. So, a lot of the times we did long driving trips. And I mean, the US is almost the same as Canada. It's the same thing, really. You guys have different rules in different states. Like, I don't know, I think Florida is famous for not having a state tax, only federal tax. But New York and California have high taxes because it depends if you're a liberal state or a Democrat state or a Republican state. Here in Canada, I think those kind of rules and setup systems that they have, I think it's fairly similar province to province. But the biggest difference between Canada and the United States is that we have health care, right? I have a card. Everybody here has a card that you just show the doctor at. It's like I don't have to pay anything ever. I can get an x-ray. I can get an MRI. I can have surgery. You hear stories of some people getting cancer and then it basically bankrupts their family in the United States, right? Because the insurance doesn't cover certain things and they have to $200,000 later from the hospital. In Canada, that can't happen. Everything is covered. If you're talking things like the schools and what jobs you would get, what kind of retail stores there are, what kind of factories there are, similar kind of weather from north to south anyways, all the roads, the way they're set up, it's kind of the same in Canada and US. Yeah, Scott, there was a 51st state idea. That's just Trump blowing out his you-know-what 51st state. Canada's a Commonwealth country. How are you going to quit the king in the UK and become part of the US? I don't even know how that would happen. I don't know. I don't think Canadians want to become part of the United States. I'm sure there's advantages to being part of the United States, but I don't know. Do you have wolf spiders out in the country? I can't necessarily say if we have wolf spiders or not. I don't even know different spiders. I'd have to maybe see a picture of it. Somebody says, Lalia, I was looking at my husband's store receipt and cursing at the taxes. Yeah. Where on the farm would you build a house? Vincent Moel is asking. I have a spot up on the ridge that overlooks, it's like a nice view, and that would be where I would want to try to build. I've shown it in the past videos, but you're always gaining new followers and new subscribers. So you never know, you never know who's watched all those videos and who's not. A wolf spider looks like a small tarantula. Oh. Okay. I'm just scrolling with my mouse here, trying to see if I missed something. You always got to be patient with me because this is only technically my third live chat ever. Yeah, Scott, I know the phone has a world clock feature, but I'm not going to pay attention to the 40 different time zones there are. That's tough to figure that out. That's not on the top of my mind anyway. Pencil me in Pixel says, yes, sleepy time in UK. Oh, Abhinai says 11 is Na, sodium. Yep, you're right. And its average mass is 22.99. The atomic number is 11 for sodium, Na. You're right. Or maybe you saw it on here and you cheated, eh? I don't know. Yeah, Sharon O'Connell says Olive knows when to stay back when the cats need to come in. She does. So, when Olive was a lot younger, I'd be yelling at her all the time because she'd always want to be close to me, and I'm having a hard enough time getting the cats trained. So I used to tell her to go over there, and she's relatively obedient, Olive, right? She listens. She doesn't do a very good job with stay. It's the one thing that she has a hard time on. So if you're trying to take okay, speaking about photos, all the photos that I post on Instagram and Facebook, sometimes some really nice photos of this girl, Olive, they're all stolen shots. You know what I mean? They're all just me recognizing, oh, that's a nice shot over there. And then I'm going to pull out my phone and do it quick before she moves. If you try to call Olive over and make her sit, and that she'll sit right away, and then you tell her to stay, and then you're slowly backing up so that you can try to take the photo, she's going to move every time. She doesn't stay. So the one thing she has a hard time on is stay. Stay. What do you think, people? Will cut it off at the 2-hour mark? Lalia, I don't know how they would see that. And this microphone is kind of blocking it. But NA is not even in the picture. So I think that person knew that that's sodium because you can't even see sodium there. Aubrey is saying, are there stink bugs in Canada? Yeah, there's stink bugs. They're those slow moving bugs. And, Gretzky or Lemieux. I mean, I was always a Gretzky guy, but Lemieux is incredible too. It's like, how do you choose? Merry Christmas, Scott. I'll be shutting it down in a couple minutes anyhow. So if anybody has any last words, now's your chance. And you got to stay tuned for tomorrow's episode. Tomorrow's Christmas Day. It's my regular Thursday episode, which I filmed for Christmas like several days ago. It kind of felt odd filming it. It felt like I was on a film shoot for Hollywood, because I was talking a lot about Christmas and what our plans are, and I was wearing my Santa hat and everything. So, but otherwise I wouldn't have a video. Mike Bossy? No, I was never a Mike Bossy guy. He got lucky a couple years with 50 goals and all that. He wasn't anybody to impress me. Somebody says, I got to go, Zipped Up Kits. I got to go bake a sweet potato pie. Holly, I've never had a sweet potato pie in my life. I've heard about it. I like sweet potatoes. I like sweet potato French fries, but I've never had a sweet potato pie. Scott says, I'll make an annoying comment so I watched. Okay, you do that. I'll give it a thumbs up probably. Or I'll come back with some smart ass thing to say. Who knows? Lalia says, how did you do after 2 hours in the cat house? You know what? I was okay. I was better than I thought, actually. So, it got me thinking, okay, I can probably do that, like every once in a while I could stay there for a couple hours. But also, a live stream doesn't have to be 2 hours, right? Like I kind of get in the mood, and there's a bunch of people commenting, and I like to talk back and answer a lot of the questions and stuff. And I'm probably a little bit slow using the mouse following everybody, but I don't have to be on. Like today, it's 2 hours right now. I just went live. I didn't tell anybody. It's a complete surprise. I just wanted to explain about what happened today with those live feeds. And I mean, it is what it is. Anyways, it's 2 hours, people. everybody have a Merry Christmas. I'm going to shut her down. And if you have any comments or questions, of course, you can always watch tomorrow's video whenever you get your family stuff settled down and you finish opening up all your gifts and all that kind of stuff. And we'll see you in tomorrow's comments. Okay, you guys have a great night. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and enjoy. How do you shut this down? Ending stream now.